Women reveal their true selves to unattractive men. The following is going to be a rude awakening. If you're an average or below average in attractiveness individual across your life, you might have had a slight inclination that people, especially women, treat you slightly differently than some other guys, who just seem to be effortlessly popular. Perhaps you might not have figured out why yet, or maybe you're just blissfully ignorant that there even is a difference. The greatest lie told to the modern world and men is that women are not as visual as men and put emphasis on other things like status and money. But this is no way encapsulates the cold, harsh truth that yes, women do take into account several other things about men, but only if that man meets the looks threshold to begin with. I have been on both sides of the spectrum. I remember vividly being a young adolescent kid being picked on as the nerdy guy of the class. I also remember the mindset I was in, hopelessly naive and lost. I thought girls just weren't interested in me because I was doing small wrong here and there. I never realized until later that I was simply knocked out of the race because of the way I looked. So in this video, I'm going to reveal to you the truth about how girls really feel about a guy that they aren't attracted to, so you know better exactly why you are treated as poorly as you are. It starts from the day you are introduced to girls at school and ends the day you walk the aisle with the woman you supposedly love. But there is a common thread between it all that will be a revelation to you once you realize it. You see, on the most innate possible level, all our behaviors and instincts have been honed in by evolution and natural selection. A lot of people don't like to look at dating and relationships this way because they see it as reductive and cold. But I believe that as social animals, the evolutionary theory is the bedrock of explaining away things that otherwise seem elusive to you. Back in the day, women had to be extremely selective with who they mated. Scratch all the modern nonsense of promiscuity, women on a deep level are afraid of a guy that they are not attracted to sexually. And I'll explain why. Here's the deal. Men are stronger than women. And in history, that meant that a guy that was unattractive could possibly force himself onto a woman if she didn't entertain his advances. This was wrong and unacceptable. So women developed a kind of distaste and disdain for men who they didn't see as a prospect for reproduction. It was a natural honing of repulsion to such men, even a degree of anger, because that was the only way of preventing being a victim of the stronger man's forceful advances on her. But in the modern world, that impulse of repulsion has transformed into ridicule because we live in a more secure civilization where women are granted their proper rights. Jordan Peterson talks about this regularly. He said, "For women, antisocial behavior takes the form of innuendo and reputation destruction." And he's right. When girls don't like you, they belittle you and try to push you down in front of themselves and others. But the buck doesn't stop there. You grow up from high school and start to date more seriously. You think you're looking for a girlfriend or a wife that can love you and be loyal to you, but you're missing the crucial point. You aren't attractive enough for her to be loyal to you. So when you finally do get a girlfriend by some lucky chance, you realize that it was all for the wrong reasons. I personally hate to be in a relationship where I knew the girl was in it for something else, other than the fact that she genuinely loved me. I would find that insulting as a man, and you should too. The woman you're in a relationship with might be with you for the time being, but she will most likely always be looking for a bigger, better deal of a guy that she innately lusts over and is turned on by. Look up this term, monkey branching, and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. And when you finally break up with her, that girl will go around riding the carousel as if you were the only thing holding her back from doing so. It is a cold world out there, and even colder if you're an average guy in the modern dating scene. And by the way, like the video and sub to the channel if this content helps you. It will tell the YouTube algorithm the kind of content you want to see. Now let's get back to you. Let's say you get married to a girl despite your below average value and physical attractiveness. You don't turn her on as much, but maybe she decided to be with you for your money or status. It might initially feel like you won her over and she might even make you feel like she loves you, but the mask won't take long to come off. There is a modern epidemic that not enough people talk about. It's called dead bedrooms. Couples that got married are now realizing there is no chemistry or spark between the two of them, and they are left trapped in a crappy marriage because of kids, or finance, or a prenup, etc. I shudder at the thought of being trapped in this way, but the cold reality is that this is a true case for an increasing proportion of married couples in the Western Hemisphere and around the world. A guy who is not attractive and does not turn on his wife on the same way will see his intimate life drown in a sea of distractions, chores, and marriage responsibilities. Sexuality will slowly fade away and become unimportant until he is left with the same predicament that millions of other men are, in a dead bedroom. What a tragedy it is to not have won the genetic lottery and suffer for it for so long and so much. But this is the cold hard truth of the world we live in. Male virginity is on the rise across the world, and a large part of the reason is that all reins on mating and dating have come off. We have become detached from all norms and institutions, to the point that now it's a total free-for-all. I have seen so many of my friends who were conventionally not the best-looking guys become tamed down in marriage, all the while their wives are secretly cheating on them with their work husband. That's another term you need to Google and understand. Perhaps I'll also make a whole video on it soon. Being unattractive is arguably the biggest disadvantage you can be born with in the highly visual and competitive dating scene of today. And the opposite is also true. I sometimes feel as though every investment a man makes, the most important one is the investment in his own looks, because it pays more dividends than any stock or bond you can put your money in. And remember this too. Women are not to blame for their behavior, and I would hate for you to go with the idea that you need to change them or the world in order to be better. Realize that all you have are a few things in your control. There is no point in complaining about the fact that women don't pay heed to a man like you who is not the most alpha chad in the room. That's just the nature of the game. That's just evolution at work. I find it much more responsible to look at things you can control and become the best looking version of yourself possible. This world is cold for unattractive men, but it is even colder for men who are unattractive and hopelessly naive about what that means for their dating life. So use resources like this channel to up your game and understand female nature, so you know exactly how to maneuver it best without taking the biggest hit yourself. And while you're at it, share this video with your friends. This may be the start of their journey into the red pill rabbit hole that will awaken them to the reality of the world. Like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. Until next time.